Okay, let's get into this. Our mission today is, well, it's a tough one. We're doing a deep dive into some source material you've shared about a really chilling case.
Yeah, it starts in what you'd think is a peaceful place. A quiet cemetery, pretty remote, out in Tennessee.
Exactly. A place for rest. But the sources, they reveal something truly horrific hidden there.
It kicks off in 2019. The source material points to a groundskeeper finding something, well, just fundamentally wrong.
Wrong how?
With one specific grave. Fresh soil, disturbed, and there was a flashlight, half buried.
Okay, so not just kids messing around. That sounds deliberate.
Right. The details in the sources, they immediately flagged it as something more sinister than basic vandalism. Something had really desecrated this grave.
So authorities get involved, and I guess they decided they had to exhume.
Yeah, based on that initial find, they made that difficult call. And what they found, the sources describe it as almost incomprehensible.
What was it?
The body of a woman.
Hmm?
Recently buried, the autopsy later confirmed a post-mortem sexual assault.
Oh my God.
And the sources detail how the body was dragged, violated, left in this grotesque pose. It suggests, a level of violation way beyond just digging up the grave.
That's horrific. And the source material indicates this wasn't a one-off incident.
No, and that's maybe the most disturbing part.
Yeah.
As they investigated, they found 3 more graves.
3 more?
Yeah, same condition, all women, all recently buried, and crucially, showing the exact same pattern of violation.
Wow. So it immediately points to something methodical, a series of crimes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That repetition, that specific pattern across multiple victims, it screamed predator.
But in such a remote place, how did they even begin to figure out who was doing this? What did the sources say about catching them?
That's where technology came in, according to the material. Motion detecting cameras.
Ah, okay. They set up surveillance.
Right, hoping to catch something. And they did. It confirmed their worst fears, really, and led straight to the perpetrators.
What did the camera show?
2 figures, late at night,
Yeah.
literally crawling into open graves.
Oh.
One guy had tools, the other carried like a small duffel bag. It was clear from the footage, the sources say, that they weren't after valuables.
They were after the bodies themselves.
Exactly. Terrifyingly clear.
And the sources identified these individuals.
As Daryl and Lance. Described as drifters, kind of isolated figures. People had apparently seen them near this cemetery before, but, they didn't raise any alarms.
And so they were caught on camera.
Right. The sources say they were arrested about a week after that footage was captured.
And when the police caught them, what about evidence? Did they find anything?
Oh, yeah. The sources detail some incredibly disturbing finds. Soiled clothing, photos, photos linked to the women they violated.
Jeez.
And the big one, a journal. The sources really emphasized this journal became absolutely key.
A journal, what did it say?
It gave this chilling window into their mindset. It wasn't just a log of what they did.
What kind of mindset are we talking about?
Well, the material says it revealed this profoundly twisted belief system. They wrote about feeling safe with the dead. Yeah, and this horrifying idea that the dead belonged to no one, like they were available.
That's deeply disturbing. Did journal say how they chose who to target?
Yes, and this is maybe the most chilling detail from the journal entries provided. They wrote about watching funerals.
Watching funerals from a distance.
Exactly. Waiting, observing, to identify a woman who had just been buried, to figure out the right time to go back.
Calculating the timing.
Precisely. There's one entry quoted in the source material. It's graphic. "She looks so peaceful. I waited for the dirt to settle. Then we returned for her."
Wow. It sends a chill down your spine. It wasn't random at all.
Not in the slightest. That quote, it just lays bare how planned, how methodical this was. Deliberate selection.
It makes you wonder, though, how could they keep doing this without being noticed sooner? The sources said they were seen lingering nearby.
Yeah, week after week, apparently. It speaks to perhaps a level of isolation, maybe being overlooked in that rural setting. They operated under the radar until that first grave was found disturbed.
And the source material suggests this wasn't confined just to Tennessee.
Unfortunately, no. When questioned, both Daryl and Lance apparently claimed they'd done this before.
Where else?
In other towns, other states. One mentioned a cemetery down in Georgia. The other hinted at a churchyard up north. Very vague, but ominous.
So connecting the dots.
Yeah.
What's the bigger picture here, according to the sources?
Well, they indicate the FBI is now involved. They're reviewing cold cases nationally, cases involving disturbed graves.
Suggesting this horrific pattern might be much more widespread.
It chillingly suggests that, yes, that maybe there are other unexplained incidents out there that could potentially link back to these two, or at least this methodology.
And legally, what happens in cases like this? The sources touch on that, right?
They do, and they note these cases are incredibly rare, mainly because, thankfully, they're rarely discovered.
But here, they had overwhelming evidence.
Exactly. The photos, the physical evidence at the gravesites, and that crucial journal. It allowed prosecutors to bring charges. Multiple counts, desecration, abuse of a corpse, unlawful entry into cemeteries.
But there's another layer to it, isn't there? The source material talks about justice.
Yeah, it offers a perspective on what legal justice means, or maybe doesn't mean, in a situation like this. For the families, for the community.
It feels insufficient.
Profoundly insufficient is the sense you get from the source.
Yeah.
Legal consequences are necessary, obviously, but some violations, especially desecrating someone's final resting place, seem to inflict wounds that the law just can't fully address or heal.
And based on the sources you provided, it sounds like this deep dive is really just scratching the surface of what that journal revealed.
It seems so. The material indicates this is just part one, essentially, that the journal contains more.
More like what?
Mentions of a name, details about a new victim, and potentially something about an accomplice no one expected.
An accomplice? Wow, so more to come, potentially.
Looks that way. He leaves a lot hanging, a lot still buried, so to speak.
It really does make you process what was truly hidden in that quiet place.
Exactly. And considering the whole disturbing picture painted by these sources, it really makes you wonder, doesn't it, about the quiet, seemingly peaceful spaces all around us, what hidden darkness might actually be resting just beneath the surface.